What is good, YouTube? Blue 9 Productions here with the first episode of a brand new series where we break down our team's matchups. So, for the first episode, we have the season opener. Football's finally here, baby. Woo! Season opener, Patriots Chiefs. So I'm going to be breaking down the Chiefs' biggest weapon, Tyreek Hill, and how the Patriots are probably going to plan to stop him. Stay tuned. So Tyreek Hill has become the NFL's newest type of super weapon. He could run, he can catch, he can play running back, wide receiver. He's obviously the best punt returner in the league at this point. Don't at me. But how do you stop that speed? How do you stop that route running? How do you stop that sort of unpredictability? You can see circus plays like these where Tyreek just runs clean past his man with his blazing speed. Tyreek is one of those people that you just can't play physical with at the line of scrimmage. It seems counterintuitive. He's only 5'10", he's 185 pounds. It seems like the best way to stop him would be to jam and play physical at the line of scrimmage. But the problem with Tyreek is he's not Brandon Cooks. He's much quicker off the line of scrimmage than Brandon Cooks. And the thing is, once Tyreek Hill takes advantage of one missed jam, one bad move, he's off. You can't stop him anymore. So Tyreek's two most dangerous routes, the only two routes in my opinion that he runs absolutely amazingly, the only two spectacular routes he has are his streak and his screen pass. So streak is pretty self-explanatory. Consider the fastest man in the NFL right now, 4.2540. He just runs right past his defender, beats him straight on man-to-man. You can't play man-to-man against Tyree for that reason, at least not physical at the line of scrimmage. And his second, more underrated route is a screen pass. And you'll see him drop into a screen, a bubble screen, quite a few times against the opposing teams, especially on play actions or read options, or Alex Smith has to make some sort of decision. And this is a great counter to all the cushion that defenders have to give Tyreek Hill so that he doesn't just run past them. So, basically, Tyreek Hill's game, when it's not just a 50, 60-yard long bomb on a streak, it depends heavily on yak. Any sort of short intermediate pass, Tyreek Hill is the guy to get yak. And so, how do you stop that yak? How do you stop Tyreek Hill from getting those yards after catch? The Bengals and the Seahawks respectively. And let's take a look at some plays Tyreek Hill made against them and some plays they made against him. Alright, so let's start off by looking at some film, and we're going to start off with the don'ts. There's do's and don'ts when you want to cover Tyreek Hill. Let's start off with the don'ts. The number one don't, if you're a safety, never turn your hips towards the end zone. Ever. Alright, let's check out what happens here. Nick Foles is the quarterback, and what he's going to do, he's going to flip the formation a couple times, try to catch the defense off guard. The Chiefs like to do this quite a bit, and you'll see this during the Patriots-Chiefs game as well. Andy Reid thinks he's being clever, I guess. So you'll see Tyreek Hill flip to the bottom. Alright, and they'll snap it. So right away, you see the cornerback. His hips are turned towards the end zone. What is this? This is a sign of fear. Because he doesn't want Tyreek to beat him over the top. His hips are turned. He's running straight away for the seam. So the thing that happens here, the most important thing that the cornerback doesn't do is that he doesn't press Tyreek to the outside. Tyreek is smart and he takes the inside release here. So what happens here is that the defensive back kind of takes an over-aggressive angle on Tyreek's route. And what Tyreek is able to do is come up, make it look like he's going to streak, and cut it in. So what that does is that forces the safety to turn his hips towards the inside. And what did I just talk about? You never want to turn your hips up to the end zone. What happens now? The safety's looking over his left shoulder because he thinks Tyreek is going to streak up. What happens? Tyreek takes the post. He goes right past the safety, and this is a touchdown. Rather, not a touchdown. This is a 39-yard catch or something. Yeah, so this was an underthrown ball. Tyreek made a great adjustment to the ball to catch it. But I will repeat what I've said already maybe 3 times. If you're a safety and you're covering Tyreek, you should never be in this situation where your hips have to point towards the end zone. Alright, so this is Tyreek's second big play of this game. Against the Colts, he was tearing them up. He had something like 20 yards per catch as an average, and he had like 5 catches or something insane like that. So he had a great game. And on this play, what you'll see is you'll see a blown coverage here by the safety, number 29. I have no idea who that is because I'm not a Colts fan. So what you'll see is the cornerback takes an underneath sort of zone because he sees the bunch formation. There's a good chance they're playing some trail technique or something like that, where you have one guy run into the flat off of a pick and try to get some yardage and go off the edge. So what's going to happen here is he's going to stay underneath, and it's the safety's job to protect this part of the field in a sort of cover two. What the safety decides to do is he decides to protect the middle. This is the second time we've seen this safety screw up. So what happens here? You'll see right away the play is over like 5 milliseconds after it starts. Just play starts. Just a second and done. That's it. Play's over. Done. You have the corner playing his zone. Tyreek is gone. Tyreek is gone. The safety doesn't see him yet. Tyreek's speed is too fast where if you make a mistake like this as a safety, you can't recover from it. So safety play is extremely important, as we've seen. 2 big plays both given up by safeties. So that's something that the Patriots are going to have to look to. Not only do you have to have an aggressive cornerback that can be aggressive even while giving a cushion. Someone like, I don't know, Stephon Gilmore, who the Patriots just got this season, had a huge payday. My prediction is we're going to have Stephon Gilmore on Tyreek with a safety on top, either Deron Harmon or Devin McCourty, depending on who's going to be on Travis Kelce. So, as you've seen, safety play is incredibly important. So what's going to happen is we're going to have to force him to the sideline, force him to the outside on those deep catches. If he does take an inside release, once again, we need our safety to be able to force him to the outside and basically keep him in between the corner and the safety, because once he gets inside that, he's loose. And we've seen 2 plays already where the safety's messed up. So let's move on. Let's talk about some of the do's when you want to cover Tyreek Hill. These are on the shorter routes. On the deep routes, we've already established that you want to jam or cover him to the outside, cut him off to the outside. On the intermediate routes, these are usually guaranteed catches with Tyreek Hill because of the amount of cushion he gets. He gets like 10, even 15 yards of cushion at times. So these are guaranteed routes, so let's see how you make a play, how you'd stop them. Let's talk about a couple different plays that are very impressive from the defenses. Alright, so this is a play against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Jaguars are an underrated defense in my opinion. They've added a couple of really great rookies in Myles Jack and Jalen Ramsey, and they just added Calais Campbell. They added a cornerback, I'm blanking on his name. They have Prince Amukamara. They are a great defense that has a lot of potential. And at the heart of the defense is Paul Posluszny, who's one of the most underrated linebackers in the league. So he's the one that actually makes the play here. And so what you're going to see is these 2 wide receivers come up the field and try to eliminate the 2 cornerbacks. And Tyreek is going to basically come underneath and just try to take the screen and run with his yak, his ever so famous yak. And so what happens here? Why doesn't this work? You see Paul Posluszny basically tracing him down. He's on man coverage against Tyreek Hill, and this is what you want. If you're the Chiefs, you like seeing a linebacker on Tyreek Hill. I mean, no explanation needed. So Tyreek Hill runs into the outside. Paul Posluszny recognizes this, and so does this cornerback right here. I'm blanking on his name. I'm not sure who he is. He recognizes this. He blows up this gap right here that Tyreek Hill was originally trying to aim for. So watch. He blows up that gap. Tyreek is forced to cut it back inside, and Paul Posluszny can track him down. Again, you see Paul Posluszny recognize that? Gap is blown up, and it's tracked down. Alright, and so let's check out another play where a short pass goes wrong for Tyreek Hill, a screen. It's a dump down against the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos have always sort of gotten the better of the Chiefs. They did lose, I believe they did lose both their matchups this year, didn't they? Yeah, I think they did. Um, let's check this play out. Alright, so for this play, what we're going to see, first of all, is it's going to be sort of a fake play action kind of thing. The line's going to all push this way and clear it out, so Tyreek can take a route into the flats and try to get around the edge and try to get around Miller and the rest of the linebacking core. So what you'll see here is Miller's job is to sort of chip away at Travis Kelce and try to chip his route a little bit so he doesn't get that speed and doesn't get open. And so he chips, he stays underneath in a sort of QB spy. And we'll actually talk about the QB spy in just a little bit. He takes the QB spy, he sees Tyreek on the check down, he reads it perfectly, and he comes in and bam, blows up that gap. Now, this play wouldn't have worked. It would not have worked, and you'll see just in a second, if Derek Wolfe, number 95, one of my least favorite players in the league, Derek Wolfe hadn't have gotten off his block. So Derek Wolfe disengages very nicely, recognizes the play, and so now what happens is Tyreek is surrounded immediately by two Broncos. So originally, if only Von Miller was here, Tyreek is in huge open space. He's taking that tackle. He's going all the way. Since Derek Wolfe is here, Tyreek has no choice. He's sort of surrounded, and Von Miller does a great job of wrapping him up, and gloats a little, but we'll let that go. He is the best outside linebacker in the league. So what does that mean? First of all, I want to address the QB spy I talked about. Alex Smith is a very mobile quarterback. He's underratedly mobile. He's like a discount Aaron Rodgers in that he can make your throws. He can't throw on the run very well, but he can get into the end zone with his legs. He can create time with his legs. He can run for first downs if all else fails. He's really good in that way. So having a QB spy is sort of a must. So I see Dante Hightower being a QB spy on Alex Smith for most of the game. If that doesn't work out, I think we'll see Dietrich Wise, our rookie, Dietrich Wise Jr. out of Arkansas, be a spy for Alex Smith. And now let's address the main point of how you stop the short routes. What you want to do is you need disciplined defensive play, and you need more than one player to make the play. In both of these plays we've seen, the Jaguars play and this Broncos play, both times you had more than one player recognizing the play. You can't bring down Tyreek Hill with just one player. He's just too good to not be tackled open field. So you need two players. You need to have a high football IQ for that. So I can see the Patriots being able to shut down his intermediate routes for maybe gains of 1, 2, 3 yards, maybe even losses, because that's the kind of football they play. So we've seen how to shut down Tyreek Hill on the low intermediate routes. We've talked about how to shut him down on the long routes. So let's just recap sort of what we've done, and let's recap the Patriots' game plan for this season, or rather for this game. So let's just recap what we've talked about in this episode. Number one, for how to stop Tyreek, you want the cornerback to be aggressive, not necessarily on the line of scrimmage. Even if he's giving cushion, you want him to be aggressive and to be able to press Tyreek to the boundaries on longer routes such as posts and on streaks. And basically, I see Stephon Gilmore playing against Tyreek Hill for most of this game because of his speed and his physicality. You also want the ability for your defensive back or safety to be able to take good angles and be able to squeeze Tyreek into that little gap between the cornerback and the defensive back if Tyreek does get into the inside of the cornerback. Third, you want your linebackers and cornerbacks to be able to recognize Tyreek's shorter routes and recognize natural pick plays and have good awareness on these. So the easiest way to do that is to have a spy on Alex Smith, not only to limit Alex Smith's mobility and ability to escape the pocket, but wherever Alex Smith goes, Tyreek follows. When Alex Smith breaks out to the right, Tyreek is usually right in front of him on the check down on the right. Usually Alex Smith follows wherever Tyreek goes on, even within the pocket. So if you can follow Alex Smith, you'll be able to knock down those checkdowns. And if your cornerback can shed his block, that's how you tackle Tyreek Hill short. So I see Dante Hightower being able to do this. And if the Patriots can do these three things, they'll be able to basically eliminate Tyreek Hill from the game. Now, it sounds great on paper. We'll see how good they can do it in the actual game. But I'm excited for football season. It's finally here. It's nothing like fantasy football on Sundays. So until next time, thanks for watching.